The Anarchy. The Anarchy is a term used to describe a period of civil wars and infighting um, during the um, 12th century, well, the end of the 11th century and the beginning of the 12th century. And it was in England, and um, it was called the Anarchy because basically there was no real um, ruler of England, and because there was no ruler, um, people were doing whatever the fuck they wanted and going around murdering each other and stealing from each other, and there were all these different barons and lords basically doing whatever the fuck they wanted. And that's why it's called the Anarchy. Um, but it can be better understood as a dynastic conflict between rival claimants to the throne. Um, so we finished the last one with Henry I as king, having possibly murdered his brother and become king. Um, Henry had at least two legitimate children. He had a lot of bastards, a lot of illegitimate children with women other than his wife as well, but none of them were able to claim the throne because you've got to be legitimate to claim the throne. So Henry had a daughter whose name was Matilda, and she was married to the Holy Roman Emperor, who was the very, very, very powerful leader in Germany. Um, so she was Empress of Holy Roman Empire. He had a son called William, who was younger than Matilda, and he was the heir to the throne. But the problem was that William died in a storm, and he was on a boat, and it sunk, and everyone drowned, and he died, which caused a big problem because the king was like, oh, for fuck's sake, who's going to be king after I die? And he said, well, it's going to have to be my fucking daughter, and she's going to have to be king somehow. I guess queen, but what the fuck? You can't have a woman as the monarch. It's never happened before. But okay, first time for everything. Okay, Matilda is my heir. And other people, because they were kind of scared of Henry, said, all right, whatever you fucking say. But they had no intention of actually going ahead and fucking respecting his wishes after he was dead. Instead, what they were going to do is they were going to get Stephen. Stephen was Matilda's cousin. He was the grandson of William the Conqueror, and he was the son of Matilda, who was Adela, son of Adela, who was William the Conqueror's daughter. And Stephen was gonna claim the throne after Henry died. So Henry died, and Stephen just came over and said, "I'm the king now," and he sat on the throne. And Matilda said, "No, you're not the fucking king. My dad said I'm the king. Well, the queen. I'm the ruler of England, not you. You can't. So go fuck yourself." And there was all kinds of fighting going on, and neither of the two had managed to take complete control of the country. and these lords were taking advantage of the chaos to increase their lands and to take revenge on people they didn't like and get away with murder and do whatever the fuck they wanted. And it was a terrible time for people to live because there was no safety, there was no security, there was no law, there was nothing to stop any cunt coming round and killing you and destroying your house and taking everything that you had, because which king are you going to go to for justice? You know, there's two other cunts and they both cancel each other out. Hence the anarchy. Well, Stephen managed to sort of keep his arse on the throne most of the time, and poor Matilda had to go and fuck off to France. And so she went to France, and she married this cunt in France called Geoffrey of Anjou. Anjou is a place in France, and Geoffrey was a duke and a lord of that place. And Geoffrey said, fucking hell, you should be the rightful ruler of England. And anyway, they had a son together whose name was Henry. And he grew into a very strong, tough young man. And he was very keen to go to England and fucking take it back from Stephen so that he could be the king. Stephen had a son, and he fucking died. He got killed in fighting. So after that, Stephen wasn't that bothered about what happened after he died. So Stephen made a deal with Matilda and said, look, I'll tell you what, let me stay on the throne until I'm dead, and I'll name your son as my heir, because mine's dead. So they agreed on that, and Stephen died, and Matilda and Henry, and that they went to England, and Henry was crowned King Henry II of England. And this dynasty of kings, this family, which came from Anjou, are called the Angevins, and it became a really great family and a very powerful family. And Henry II became a really great king, but we'll say more about that in the next one.